Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're doing a recap and review of The Bachelorette season 16 episode number 5. So if you are new here, smash the subscribe button to continue to get quality content, as I do post at least every day or every other day regarding all of the dating and romance reality TV shows. If you like this video, smash the like button and also drop a comment down in the comment section because I do engage with my subbies. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So the episode starts off with the guys where we left off last week, where everybody is wondering who's going to replace Clare as the new Bachelorette. So, the conversation begins, and so she walks in. All of the guys are extremely excited to see who this beautiful woman is. Some people probably know her from the previous season because she was on Colton's season, and also she was on Bachelor in Paradise. So she begins her journey as the new Bachelorette, as they would call it, the Rose Queen, which means that we finally get to hear from men who are not actually Dale. So the first person is our very handsome aeronautic engineer, Ivan. And he said that he came in with an open heart and an open mind, and having her here, she's definitely more his speed and how he's going to give this 100%. So then we have Riley, and he asked Tayshia, of course, what she does for a living. And yes, she's not going to say she's a professional reality TV / Instagram influencer //. But the Bachelorette mumbles about being in the beauty and lifestyle space. And then, of course, she asks Riley what type of work he does, and he says that he is a medical malpractice defense attorney. So we kind of already knew some of the background on some of these folks, the veterans of the group, because of the fact of them starting out with Clare. So our next handsome man is Jordan, and he compliments Tayshia's smile, talking about her big ass eyes, which is sweet. And I think he's a cutie pie. I really like his demeanor. He seems like a sweet guy. And then she has a conversation with Blake, and he immediately launches into how hard everything has been for him, and that it feels like he went through the ringer, and take a little bit of time with him and be patient with him. He's kind of given off the fact that he's still been through a lot with Clare, but we'll see. So then we now have Jason, who is in a kind of sad space because of all those feelings that he has had for Clare. Though he, kind of went back and forth whether or not he wanted to stay until a few hours before the cocktail party, he wanted her to know that he's still there for the right reason. So now we have this handsome guy, Brendan, and we didn't hear a lot about him in, Clare's part of the season, but he is apparently a commercial roofer, but he's also a model and an actor who loved turtlenecks because he had his cute little turtleneck on there. And he said that just seeing you walk in, being in awe, is everything I could have asked for and even more. So while they're still talking and getting to know each other, Chris Harrison shows up. And he comes in with some news about how everything is going to change. And I'm like, okay, what's next? Right? But as we all notice, it pushes us into the next part of the show where we see 4 new guys. And, I know she was definitely kind of wondering, like, okay, what the heck is going on? The guys are actually looking out the window, wondering, okay, what else is going on? What's going to happen now? Especially with the veterans, since they've been through, both the transition of Clare and Tayshia. They're wondering, too, what's up next? And, of course, we see the limo pull up, and Chris is telling her, you know what, we're bringing in a few more guys to even up the playing field. And so, of course, she's patiently waiting. And then, of course, the guys are looking through the glass windows and they're like, what the heck? So the first guy is Spencer, who is a 30-year-old water treatment engineer from La Jolla. And Spencer definitely made an impact on her. He seems very straightforward. He's, very vocal and blunt about what he's looking for and what he's want. But we'll definitely see more of Spencer later. And it's not going to be go well with the guys. I'll just say that. So next we have Montel, who is 30. He's a gym owner from Boston. And of course, he has a pink suit, which, hey, I don't have a problem with it. He definitely don't have a problem with it. Hey, I don't mind pink on a man. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments. But I don't know if there's an interest there, but we'll see. And then we have Peter, who is 32, a real estate agent from Massachusetts, and he definitely give her compliments on how dazzling her smile is. And yes, Tayshia definitely has a big, gorgeous smile. And then last but not least, we have Noah, who's a 25-year-old registered nurse from Oklahoma. He is a really cute guy. Got a little mustache thing going on. He actually pulled out his stethoscope so that she can listen to his heartbeat and see how fast his heart is beating for her, So I thought that was kind of cute. You got to be creative when you are being introduced to the Bachelor or the Bachelorette on this show. So he definitely was true to form in this instance. And of course, all four of the guys go in to meet the veterans, and it's a definitely chilly reception from the guys, because they're disgruntled that they have to deal with additional competition. And it didn't help that Spencer came in and he was saying, which one of you guys ran Clare off? Yeah, that didn't go well with the guys. And they were very pissed. And then, of course, it didn't help that Spencer all but body checks Jordan and steal Tayshia away for that, conversation that she decided to have with him. And the guys was like, he literally been in the house 3 minutes and he got the nerve to cut in front of the guys. Yeah, they were pissed. Especially Brendan. He called it honestly bullshit. Excuse my French, but I'm quoting him. So, they continue to have conversation. And then, of course, Chris Harrison brings in the first impression rose, right as usual. And then Zach, of course, brings Tayshia to a fountain yard, after that was put on the table. And they sit and talk, and then they're tossing a coin over their shoulders to make a wish. And, of course, they have conversation how they're not supposed to say, what their wishes are out loud. But honestly, he definitely had a very cool accent. I think that they actually hit it off pretty well. I wouldn't be a bit surprised that he's probably going to go far in this competition with, compared with the other guys, because she really built a connection with Zach. So I'm definitely feeling a little bit of something here. So now she plays cornhole with Chasen. And then she learned Noah has 10 brothers and sisters and that he was a twin. She tells Kenny that he looks good in a suit. And then she has a clumsy slow dance with Ben. And then she finally gave her first impression rose to Spencer. And then, of course, she also gave him a big fat kiss, too. So, of course, when he saw that Spencer got that rose, Ivan was pissed. He was definitely pissed, too. And then, of course, they also are in anticipation of the rose ceremony. But to the guys' surprise, both Chris and Tayshia decided to forego the rose ceremony in order for her to get to know everybody else a little bit further. And I thought that was really cool of her to do that. Now we are into the special part of the show where Chris Harrison brings Clare and Dale in to talk about their relationship and how it's going, to also address the issue of whether they knew each other prior to the show. She showed off a gorgeous engagement ring, which I think is absolutely pretty. And then, of course, they invited Dale onto the scene. And, they went into a whole conversation about their relationship, how happy they were, did they think it was too quick? And they both totally disagreed. They felt that there was a connection from the start. And then, of course, the $100,000 question is, did you guys communicate, talk, meet, text, anything before that night? And did you lie to all of Bachelor Nation? And both of them vehemently, 100% said no. And she even swore, I think, on her father's grave. So, here's my thing. I'm going to take it for what they say. I'm not going to, discredit, talk about. It's her truth. They have to own it. If it's not true, then, they got to answer to that for themselves. They don't have to answer to me. I just want them to be happy. Okay? So they asked about what was next for them. And, of course, she is excited. And I even saw this on her IG Live, the both of them had. That they were talking about babies. They are also talking about looking at homes in Sacramento. So go over to their IG, especially Dale's, because he posts a lot of her and them. But yeah, they're talking about baby fever. And of course, Chris is like, well, wait a minute, don't you want to get married first? And she was like, whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, of course. And look, here's the thing. She is over the moon. She's excited about this love that she found. It might not meet everybody else's timeline on the speed that they chose to move forward, because, of course, from the way that it sounds, it was 2 weeks. But it's their choice, and I wish them the best, and I'm happy for them. So let's get back to some Tayshia news. So what we have now is her journaling about everything, and I don't know if this is something that they just have, the producers have them do, because Clare was doing the same thing, so maybe it's something that they do. However, there's time for a group date, and so the group date card is read by Ivan, and so it's Blake, Riley, Zach, Jordan, Noah, Peter, Kenny, Jay, and Easy. So all of them are definitely excited about getting to spend some time, and I can understand, because they really have been through a lot, and, wondering if they were going to actually build a connection with someone. I mean, they originally came there for Clare, but to actually get some dating time in with the Bachelorette, whoever that may be, they were pretty excited about that. So they were told to head over to the pool. And, of course, as they headed over, they saw an emerging Tayshia from the water, looking gorgeous as ever. And, of course, with them seeing the gorgeous Tayshia emerge from that water, they were definitely excited about that. She had a conversation with them talking about whether or not they're hot, and they took off their shirts to cool off. And what they really don't know, which we'll talk about later, is there's going to be some poolside activities. But the casual poolside activities, they were just lounging, playing in the water. I think one of the guys even flipped her over, and she seemed to be okay with that. So I'm glad that, she was cool with that. But as she, is getting out of the water, she meets Chris, and Chris have some news. And the news is that they're going to be playing a game of splash ball. And of course, they are being split in 2 teams. And then, of course, the other thing that I don't know some people find an issue with is the objectification of both ways of these Speedos. But, to each his own. Anywho, so they play, it's kind of like a basketball game that they play in the water. And then, of course, they definitely did an underwater shot. showing the wedgies and different things like that. Definitely no restraint. But what we did see is they got a little competitive out there, especially Spencer and Riley. And they were scuffling while competing at this splash ball. And it did get kind of rough out there that, potentially, as we finally see, Riley's elbow connected with Spencer's mouth. And we had a little bit of blood going on here. Now, I don't know. They were saying that Spencer was being extremely aggressive, and he probably was because he wanted to go for what he knew and he did not care. But he got a busted lip in the process. It was pretty intense. As Tayshia said, you got to be careful. And, of course, with everybody playing like they did on the blue team, the winner was the blue team. So what happens is that they ended up having a post-pool barbecue, whereas the green team, heads back to the villa. They'll meet up later, but that's what happened, and that's who our winner is. So now we have Jason, who is, kind of contemplating whether he should still be here because he still have extreme feelings for Clare, and of course Clare is somewhere on her honeymoon with Dale. So, he needs to figure that out. He will come to a decision, which we'll talk about later, but yeah, he definitely probably needs to move on. So now we have the one-on-one date card, which is red, and it seems that our guy, Brendan, is the one who's going to go on a one-on-one date with Tayshia. So back at the poolside barbecue, we do see Easy having a conversation with Tayshia, and he told her that he felt like when she walked in the room, she had him completely. I see it, like it, feel it. I just met my wife. Where did we hear that before? Because I think I kind of remember Clare saying that I think I met my husband. So I'm wondering, is he having those same feelings for Clare? So then we are back now to Zach. Tayshia does seem to be pretty into Zach. However, and I'm wondering, because he's 36, he's maybe a little bit more mature than the other guys she might have dated. Maybe that's why. She says there's not really men around where she lives. It seems like there's boys chasing things. So I don't know. I do think, again, she has a connection with him. There's a couple other people that I think that she really may be into. But we'll see, and I'll give you my predictions later. So now, of course, we have Kenny getting a little bit of conversation in with Tayshia. I don't know. I see somewhat of a connection there. But, in all actuality, I don't know if she sees the connection. So we'll see. Now, there's a little brouhaha going on back over in the boys section when Spencer makes a comment about getting, about getting the win in the splash ball game and also getting the date rolls, which would ultimately be the big W. Riley is salty over that little pool skirmish with Spencer, and, he tells him, I think I owe you for my cracked ribs. Spencer shoots back saying, then I think we even, dude. If you need any more, let me know. And, it got not nice. And then, of course, we had people stepping in, like Kenny, who was trying to, calm things down. And, Kenny was like, hey, don't take this the wrong way, but you come off kind of like a D. And I'll just say it like that. And we're not here all to be friends, but we do have to live together. So unfortunately, they need to diffuse this situation. What's funny is Riley calling him a bologna sandwich, lunch meat. Wow. So Tayshia pulls Spencer to the side, have some conversation. She want to find out what's happening, and he kind of kept it clean. He didn't go hard in. He didn't sound like he was being a snitch. He basically told her, yeah, there's a little something going on, but I don't care. So she comes out to meet with the guys and, said that how much she enjoyed having a sit down conversation. And she chose to give her rose to a group date rose to Easy. Now, just a little bit, I know there are some rumors out there over the past few weeks about Easy. He has not been formally charged, nor has ABC or Warner Brothers made any official comments about the allegations, even though, they probably know about them. It's awkward, but, they'll figure out how to handle it, and I hope everything works out for everybody involved. Let's move on. So we're back to Jason, and he has decided to leave because he feels that he's not 100% all in because of, again, of his feelings he's battling with, the feelings he has for Clare. And, honestly, I think at this point, he probably would need to leave. If he can't give Tayshia 100% in the process, he needs to leave. That's the same thing pretty much that Clare did. She couldn't give those other 16 guys 100% because she was in the deal. She left. So it works both ways. So he decided to do the right thing and have a conversation with Tayshia and say, you know what, I just want to let you know I'm still grappling over the feelings that I have with Clare, and I think that I need to remove myself from the situation. Now, those are my words, but he basically telling her goodbye. And she's like, well, wait a minute, I really would like to get to know you. Don't cut yourself short and not take that time. And he, and I'm in the background watching this. I'm like, nope, Tayshia, let him go. You want somebody that's going to be all in. He's being honest with you. You need to let him move forward if he's not going to be 100% in the process with you. You will be doing yourself a disservice. And then that'll allow you more time to build connections with the people that are still here. Just like Jason said, there are 15, 16 other guys, 19 other guys that are still 100% in. But of course now with him leaving, she's thinking like, okay, is there any other guys that feel the same way? So she's concerned, and she has the right to be. So we'll see. So now Brendan get to go on his date, and Tayshia shows up to the pool where everybody's sitting and surprises Brendan with a horse because they're going horseback riding. Now, unfortunately, they're in a bubble, so they have to stay within the resort. So I'm glad they kind of made it accommodating for them to do that. And of course, Chris Harrison meets up with them with some of his famous margaritas. And then he runs off, get on an electric scooter where there's an ice cream cart waiting. And in the meantime, Brendan is trying to work up his nerve to get a kiss in with Tayshia. And Chris Harrison keeps showing up, ruining the moment. So he's like, you know what, give me some space so I can do my thing. And I don't blame you, Brendan. I mean, come on, Chris. I don't know what you're doing, but you're getting in the way. So they decide to spend some time in the pool and have some conversation. And, he definitely got it in. He got that kiss. And I honestly like this guy with her. I see the connection that they have. It seems like she's really interested in him. I like his mild-mannered spirit about him. He seems very laid back, very calm, which she did state when they had their little sit-down dinner. And there was some conversation that had to come up in regards to the fact that he has been married before. And he was afraid of what Tayshia's response or reaction was going to be to it. He was definitely nervous. And it was nice, that production, decided to definitely, since he was nervous and sweaty, have him wear on a short sleeve shirt to the date. So that was cool. But anywho, the conversation begins with Tayshia talking about how much she liked his chill. That's something that she looks for in a man. He's excited, and I know that there's probably, of course, a lot of better other looking guys, smarter guys, but she found that his personality is very well rounded, you know. Um, he broke the news to her that he's been married before. It was a situation where it was mutual. They grew out of love with each other, and that they got a divorce, even though the families wasn't too happy about it because they didn't find any big issues for the divorce, but they fell out of love. And the biggest thing is his core value, which is that she didn't want kids, he did, and that is extremely important. And then, of course, Tayshia says that she could relate because she, in fact, had got married in her early 20s. There was some cheating, not on her end, but of course, she can totally relate. She understands. And so now Brendan is just over the moon because now he's like, okay, cool. It's like, I don't have to worry about this anymore. They made a toast. And now they feel really connected because they had a lot of things in common. And I hate to bring Clare and Dale into this, but they connected over their own situations with their parents. They're connecting, meaning Tayshia and Brendan, their situation with their divorce. So it's so many ways that you can connect with people that tend to bring you closer together, especially if you go through similar events, life events. And of course, she ended up giving him a rose. And so he's excited, and she has more plans for him. She decided to take him over to watch a fireworks show, and I absolutely love fireworks. Oh my God, I was just over the moon myself watching fireworks because I like the fact that I find this thing so romantic. They're watching the fireworks and they're building a connection. There is some intimacy between them as they, kiss and really enjoy themselves during this fireworks show. And this is one of the guys that's at the top of my list. Now, we'll see if anything change as this progress. But I like Brendan. I think Brendan, Zach, and Ivan are my top three that I see that she's built a connection with. So you guys, let me know down in the comments who your top three is. Which one of these guys in the house is a great connection for her. And we'll definitely see. So we got to stay tuned, right? So let's do our post notification shout out. If you want to be shouted out, comment down in the comment section and I will find you and shout you out. So our first is Lisa Wright. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate you. And then we have Erica Aubie. Thank you so much for engaging in the comment section in the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well. And then last but not least, Cassandra Nikki. I appreciate the fact that you enjoy my explaining and my commentary. Thank you so much as well. So until next week, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.